Hello and welcome to Here with Joe. This is the podcast for Monday, July 31st. Coming to you a little bit late. I got in late last night. Did shows in the Bay Area, San Francisco mostly. Did a show in Oakland. Amazing shows. If you were here from those shows, because you liked them and you wanted to follow along, welcome. You guys were great. You guys were some of the best shows I've done in a while. They were truly. San Francisco fucking rocks. All right. I mean, the city itself kind of sucks. No disrespect. It's just crazy. I mean, everyone that lives there has to be a millionaire just to live in like a one-bedroom apartment. It makes LA look like a fucking middling city when it comes to expense. That's nuts. And because you have to be a millionaire to live there, all the people that clean just don't go anymore. So the whole place is filthy. Like just like, I don't mean filthy like, I mean, yeah, there's a homeless problem. I'm not saying filthy like it's got a grunge to it, like in a cool way. I'm saying it's actually dirty. I walk inside. Every time I walk inside, I'm like, why are my hands dirty? Why am I just covered in black? I actually am right now because my fucking headphones are. These headphones are. Look at this. Headphones are falling apart. What the fuck's going on? All right, I know I'm coming in hot. But yeah, so San Francisco just kind of sooty, just dirt everywhere. Because the cost of living is insane. Lower the cost of living and you'll get some fabuloso up there, okay? And then we can walk around and it can be a little bit nicer, okay? There's signs everywhere saying, hey, your car's probably going to get busted into. Don't leave anything good in it. Why is that a sign? Maybe that's your sign to, fix something. So anyway, but other than that, the shows, though, fantastic. Crowds, incredible. I was doing Cheaper Than Therapy. If you don't know about that club and you're up there, you should definitely check it out. Great shows every weekend. And then I did The Setup at the Speakeasy. Such a cool little, like, bar area, event space. I don't know. Usually Speakeasy thing, I think the place is actually called Speakeasy San Francisco. But usually Speakeasies, they seem like a good idea, and then you go, and you're like, okay, there's a Speakeasy in LA. Like, sometimes you go to a Speakeasy, and it's like, it seems like a cool idea. Oh, man, let's go to like an underground bar and have some drinks and like feel like we're in olden times, but like it kind of feels like you have to like go through a secret passageway or whatever to get in, and then it's cool. The problem with that is that like really all I'm looking for is just a bar behind a hidden door, and then once you're in there, it's just cool. It's just normal. We're adults. I don't want to say a password. There's one in LA we showed up to it, and the guy behind the door is taking his job way too seriously. I don't want to talk to the Wizard of Oz. I don't want to talk to a troll that is giving me like riddles to solve before I can come inside. I'm 36 years old. I'm not doing it. I would rather, and I'm never going to do it, but I would rather stand in a long line to get into a regular ass bar, and you won't see me do that. Okay, just put me inside and take my money for this overpriced drink so I can just hang out for a second with my friends. Okay, I'm paying an 80% markup or 280% markup on this drink. Okay? Take my money and let me just chill. Don't make me act like we aren't in Renaissance times. Okay? Anyway, San Francisco was cool. It was fun. What else did I do up there? Really just doing shows. Shows, going to sleep, waking up, doing shows. I wanted to play some poker, but it was, I'm trying to save a little money. Just lost a little bit of money on poker. I forgot to mention it the other day. This is the kind of work ethic I have. All right. Woke up on Sunday last week, and there was a big poker tournament. I'm a big poker guy. I'm really good at poker. All right. I'm gonna toot my own horn for a second. Big poker tournament. More expensive of a buy-in than I would feel comfortable doing normally, but the payout, first place gets $37,000, and I was feeling it, felt good, and I did it, all right? And I shouldn't have done it, really shouldn't have done it anyway, because too much of a buy-in, and it's like, that's a risk, but I did it, and I was locked in, and I was killing it, dude. Big stack, all right? Once you make it to there was 350 people that played. Once you made it to the top 38, you got money. You were in the money, which would have had me being, if you got 38th place, your profit is $500. So would have been a good day. I got to 49th place, and my phone goes off. A calendar, a reminder. You got a show at the Improv tonight in an hour and 15 minutes. Why it waited until an hour and 15 minutes to remind me? Usually I get those reminders first thing in the morning. I don't know. I must have put it in my calendar in a weird way. I'm a calendar head, all right? I take calendars very seriously. I put everything in my calendar. I put this in my calendar, all right? I keep up with my calendar, my iCal, my Google Cal. Everything. You can see every show that I do. Go to my website, herewithjoe.com. You'll see my Joe Gigs calendar. All right? Everything is in there. The Improv from Sunday was in there. For some reason, though, instead of getting my reminders first thing in the morning when I wake up, I got that reminder an hour and 15 minutes before the show. Now I'm in a predicament. All right? I had a stack that I was guaranteed I could literally just stop playing for the next hour, and I would have guaranteed to be, because the blinds, if you know anything about poker, the blinds in a tournament, they constantly go up every 30 minutes, which a blind is the two people, it's kind of like an ante, the two people beside the dealer, as the dealer button goes around, you have to be in that pot. Okay, and if the blinds are going up every 30 minutes, that means you're gonna have to use more of your stack to have a guaranteed hand in there that you have to bet, and it's just to get people out. My stack was big enough, and the blinds were small enough that I could have literally just sat there and done nothing for the next hour, and basically be guaranteed to be in the 37th place. Maybe 2 hours. Because it kind of gets slow right there before the money. But I was going to make it. And I wasn't even thinking about that 38th place, 37th place. I was thinking of number one, baby. I was ready to win the whole thing because I was killing it, and I had a read on everybody else that was playing at least at my table. Okay? I was about to make $37,000. And then I realized I had a spot at the Improv. And you know what I did? I said, brrr. I thought about it. All right. I thought, should I call in sick? No. Can't call in sick an hour before showtime. Be honest, at this point, it got to where it was 45 minutes before showtime. And I was 30 minutes away driving. And it wasn't before showtime. It was before I was supposed to be up on stage. Show was basically already starting. If I would have thought about it, if I would have seen that I had a show when I first bought into the tournament, I would have called in. I would have been like, hey, I'm not feeling well, or hey, I got my days mixed up, whatever. Because I would have given them the whole day to find someone else to do it. But no, this was literally right before I'm supposed to go up on stage. And you know what? comedy career is more important than a poker tournament, even if that poker tournament would have paid me more than I made in stand-up comedy in 5 years. Okay? Nope. Let's be honest. 10 years. It's going to eat. I'm basically not going to play poker for a long time. I don't want to play anymore. That one ruined it for me. Well, how much did you make whenever you went to do your spot at the Improv? $50. Made $50. Wow, I didn't realize the Improv paid that much. Well, it was for a team tour. It was to go there and do stand-up comedy for 14 to 16-year-olds. Oh, was it a good show? Nope. It was bad. It was actually actively a bad show. Had a bad time. Well, why did you do it? Well, because it's the Improv, all right? And we want to stay in there, okay? Why? Because it's the best. I'm never playing poker again in my life. All right, I'm done. Should honestly be kind of done. You know, I think I'm at a profit. I keep a track of all the money that I win and lose in poker, and I'm in the green. But it goes up and down so much, and you know, and it's only I'm good at poker when you're playing like real money. When you're playing, I'll still play poker with friends when we're doing like 25 cents and $1 blinds, where you're winning or losing like 25 to 40 bucks total. That's fine, but that's a completely different game. People shove all in all the time with nothing when the stakes are that low. So it's a different game. You're just playing it's a fun little card game at that point. But when you're playing like money that like, oh, I actually don't want to lose $100, $300 in this hand, I'll fold. People fold. Okay, so you can bet on things that can get people to fold. You can bluff on things to get people to fold. You can play a good hand that maybe you're going to win, maybe you're going to lose, but you can play the odds pretty well when you can actually get people to fold. But if you're playing for small stakes, people don't care. All right, people will happily lose $20 just to see what you got, and then they do that, and then the turn and the river come, and they get there and they take your money. Sometimes people do that with real money. Crazy people. You find some wild gamblers in the casino, and they'll do that, and those people suck. Those people are infuriating. However, if you sit there long, if you find those people, this is what you got to learn. If you find those people and they do that thing where they'll just call you and then they get there and they take all your money, that's the one time that you're like, you know what? Let's go buy in again and just get this money back, because it'll come back. It just takes time. If people gamble like that, they will, in the long run, lose to you. You are the casino. You are the house at that point that they are gambling against, because you're playing odds and they're playing fate. And fate is bad at math. Real bad at math. This is not a poker podcast, all right? I don't know how we went off on that tangent. You know, I just realized the bad part about using my phone as a camera. I can't look at my notes. There were some things I wanted to talk about, and that was one of them. I'll tell you what, because San Francisco is about a 6-hour drive there, 6.5-hour drive there, and then coming home, because it was the middle of the night, it was about 5-hour drive back. Your boy was speeding. But it was the middle of the night. Who gives a shit? And the whole way there, I started the Mel Brooks autobiography, memoir. I think it was more of a memoir. Autobiography implies that it's going through your whole life, which it kind of did, actually. But it went through his whole life and his childhood at the beginning, like a little bit, but really every chapter was about each chapter of his film and TV career. So I think that would make it a memoir. Does it matter? No. Anyway, I started on the way there, listened to 6.5 hours of it, and then it was incredible. And then on the way back, started it, listened to 5.5 hours of it on the way back, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. That man never missed. I already knew that. He's one of my favorites before, but like when you put it all out on paper and see a guy whose life is just win after win after win, it's a lot like Arnold. It's a lot like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think Arnold was kind of a more wild wins, where he came from, and then like the things that he did. Like, it's crazy that Arnold came from like a small town and on the other side of the world, and then became the best at something very obscure like bodybuilding. Like, no one gave a shit about bodybuilding really, except for bodybuilders. Like, it was a very small, tight community, and then he became so good at it that it became mainstream, which put him into movies that he sucked at, and then he somehow got really good at that and became great at action films, and then became the best at action films of all time. And then he got into politics, which is like, what are you even doing? And he became the governor of the most important state, the fifth biggest economy in the world, California. So those highs from that low is probably way bigger, but the fact that he just kept winning and winning and winning. Actually, he would actually lose. He would start something he was bad at, and he would get good at it, and then he would become the best. Mel Brooks is a different beast. Mel Brooks just, like, he wanted to do something, he'd do it, and he'd win. And he didn't really have many lows. He just kept winning. He's the funniest writer of all time. The man, like, invented American comedy, basically. I mean, not really. He took what was already there, but he just kept running with it, and he never really needed to pass the baton. His jokes never went out. You know what it is? His joke style is just funny. Like, it'll always be funny. Kind of like Charlie. He's kind of the Charlie Chaplin of our time, because Charlie Chaplin was just always funny because he was slapstick, right? And slapstick is the purest, condensed form of comedy there is. Okay, there's no... A pie to the face is always going to make you chuckle. All right? A slip and fall is always going to make you chuckle. A slip and fall in a way where it turns into irony, like, fuck, I can't think of it right now. But, like, if you're cleaning up a mess that you just made with your previous slapstick bit, and then the broom is what causes you to fall into a bigger mess. A tree just fell on my car. Fall into a bigger mess. That's kind of like, it's slapstick and it adds irony to it, Pure. Doesn't need to be a message. So he took that, and then he added messages to it, and he added depth to it and story. That was his biggest thing. Was he took pure comedy, things that were just funny. He'd had fart jokes, basic child humor that makes everybody laugh, and then he would put them into stories that were beautiful films, like Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein. Yeah, man. Dude just never missed. And every movie was a hit. Every single one. Every single one of his movies was good. They all made money. So the studios loved him and let him do what he wanted. And they were all good. Incredible. And then he's like, you know what? That first movie, the thing that started it all off, let's give Broadway a try. And then he makes the greatest Broadway play musical of all time. Still, no one has ever won more Emmys or Tonys in a year. He made the greatest of all time. Just like Hamilton couldn't even beat him. Incredible. And he's still alive. And then he decides to write this book Just in the pandemic. The man was a writing machine. Is a writing machine. I still haven't watched History of the World Part 2, and I'm really bummed about it. I should watch that this week. I hope it's good. I haven't heard much about it. When it came out, China just came out, and then I didn't hear much about it. I hope it had a feeling of, first of all, it was a series, which I wish it would have just been a movie. And two, it had the feeling of, hey, a bunch of comedians and actors who love you want to do this. It had a feeling like it was more, everything was like of those people instead of him. Felt like it was a Mel Brooks presents all these people doing what they want in this world that I created. So I'm going to give him a pass if it's not good. But I haven't seen it. Maybe it's great. Shout out to Robbie Hoffman. She's in it. I saw in the trailer. I was like, oh, shit. She's awesome. Funny comedian. Follow her. What else? I didn't listen. That was crazy. Those 2 long drives. I didn't listen to a second of music. Just listened to that book the whole time. And the book finished right as I pulled onto Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood. And it was kind of beautiful. Just an ode to filmmaking. Hollywood's a beautiful place if you really just, remember why you're here and why you love films and movies and TV. All right? You set aside all the crazy shit, all the narcissists, all the bad people that are here for the wrong reasons. But if you just remember, it's all about the storytelling. All right? That's why we're here. Then it's a little less shitty. What is happening? The tree is shitting all over me. The tree is falling apart on top of my car. It's daytime, as you can see. If you're watching a clip, you won't be able to see. I'm not putting the whole videos up on the podcast. That'll just be audio. Just videos for the clippy clips. You got a friend in me. I think I'm going to do a Paul... What's his name? Paul Newman? Not Paul Newman. That's an actor. Randy Newman. Randy Newman. You got a friend in me. I'm going to do a deep dive. I like to do deep dives of our musicians. Especially ones that I'm tepid, mild on. Be like, okay, they're fine. What's so great about Randy Newman? I need to find out, because to be honest with you, he just sounds ridiculous to me. I got thinking the other day, I was like, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall the first time Randy Newman heard his own voice on a record. No one's voice sounds good the first time you hear it. You remember the first time you listened to your recorded voice, you're like, is that what I sound like? Can you imagine being Randy Newman singing a whole album and then listening back? What the hell, fellas? I'm trying to make a record here. I sound ridiculous. Is he handicapped? How did he get so popular? It's wild. And the things that he sings about is crazy. He has a song called Short People. And the words are basically just, short people got no reason to live. Or some shit like that. I don't know. Sounds like he wants to kill short people. He's like Lenny from Mice of Men. Short people are dumb, not like me. I'm smart. I'm Randy Newman. You got a friend in me, unless you're short, then get away from me. I love L.A. Yeah. Wild. But maybe he's got some regular sounding songs that I just don't know about. Alright, I'll do a deep dive. I'll check it out. I love L.A. I like that song just because it means the Dodgers won. Randy Newman. Well, what else could we talk about? Possibly. We're at 25 minutes. Hey, we're not going to force ourselves to do an hour, all right? Sometimes you're going to listen to this and be like, oh, it was only 30 minutes today, and you're going to be happy about it, quite frankly. Because if I'm stopping at 30 minutes, that means I got nothing left for you. Got shows this week. You should check out if you're in LA. Doing some experiment show tomorrow. I can't look at my phone. Damn it. Should write this shit down. God of wind and me. J Light. Just look up J Light's Instagram. Or just look at my Instagram. Here with Joe. I'll put them all on there. I'm going to put them all on there as soon as this is over. And as soon as this is up. So, you'll see what shows I got this week. Yeah, I got this week. You know what I'm saying? I saw someone say that, this is completely off subject, but I saw someone saying that P and V sex for a lady only feels like what it feels like for a guy to get his balls tickled. What? That can't be true. First of all, I don't like my balls touched at all. Don't touch them. All right? They're sensitive and they hurt all the time. And it's not a medical thing, all right? I looked into it. Some people just have sensitive balls, okay? I don't like them touched, all right? So if that's what it feels like to you, ladies, sounds like you just don't want to have sex ever, all right? That can't possibly be true. Balls have no good feel at all. Maybe some guys do, but balls are just like, it's just a pain bag. That's all it is. You hit it and it hurts. That just sounds like you're trying to trick someone into, going down there. Which, they should. But you don't have to trick a guy, Just ask. Just talk to people. Just talk to your guy. Guys, talk to your ladies. Say what you like. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be sad. Don't be don't try to trick with lies. All right, just say what you're saying. Wow, we are really, really struggling to find things to talk about today. There was other things, and I just don't. I got to figure out another way to be able to write down the thoughts that you're going to talk about. Figure it out. Pen and paper. Is that what you're trying to figure out, Joe? We talked about shows. We talked about San Francisco. We talked about Randy Newman. We talked about Mel Brooks and Arnold. I think that's it. And we are at 30 minutes. So technically, we've done our job. We did our job, all right? We're staying up. Probably got a clip out of that Randy Newman stuff. Probably. I don't know. We'll see. We'll clip it together. I need you guys to be following along and sharing videos, okay? This is what I'm giving you homework. Okay, just share. If I post something, share it. Just fucking share it. Just fucking share it. This is good. And if you know what? If you're someone who's trying to like have things be shared around so you can sell tickets, you can use this clip as well. Just fucking share it. Just fucking, hey man, listen, I don't care if you don't even like me, alright? Just fucking share it. Share it. TikTok is a disease. Instagram is a cancer. Facebook is a virus. Twitter is dead. Can't hurt us anymore. Threads is nice. I like Threads. Let's not... Look, Threads is new in a world in which we've seen how social media fucks us up all the time. Why don't we all just keep Threads in its infancy as just this basic thing. It's just words. Don't post your video on Threads. Okay? Don't post your videos on Threads. Don't post. Yeah, you can have pictures, but just if you have pictures, just, also have a reason for the picture and the type. Let's just keep it basic. All right? It's just thoughts. Let's just have Threads be thoughts. The way Twitter was in its infancy. We can do it. If we try hard enough, we can actually do it. It's not going to happen, but for now, Threads is just a nice little, let's just throw a little jokey joke up there. That's all it is. Little jokes, little thoughts. We don't even need to make it serious. Keep the serious stuff off Threads. News organizations, don't come. Stay off, all right? Just do the newspaper. If you want to read the news, get the newspaper. I know I've said it a million times. But the newspaper is the only news you should be getting. Okay? You realize anytime you watch TV news, it's just a person yelling the newspaper at you? That's all it is. The news came out at 3 a.m. by the paper people. Okay? The newspapers are what news is. Those are the people, those are actual journalists. People on TV aren't journalists. They're broadcasters. And they're broadcasting the news that the journalists wrote. They're yelling it at you. And depending on what channel it's on, they're going to yell that news at you with a little emphasis here and a little emphasis there. All right? Or if it's on the other channel, it's going to be an emphasis there and an emphasis here. But it's the same shit. And they're trying to trick you. All right? At the end of the day, read the newspaper. And you will see news is just boring. News is just stuff that happened. All right? A good journalist just says, hey, this happened. And this happened after that, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. We'll continue this tomorrow. It's a log. It's a daily log. And let me tell you something. The day I started just reading the paper in the morning and just getting that information, then the little broadcaster in my head, I just do the emphasis where I want it. I get to decide what I yell. Go back to that. I promise you. That's why TV news used to be very boring. It used to just be a guy literally reading the newspaper. This happened today, and then this happened today, and then this happened today, and this happened today. This happened today, and this happened today. Now back to Colgate Farms presents the Happy Hour. That's what the news is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be someone being like, did you hear? Biden signed a peace treaty with the Guam Republic of Taiwan. Now, let me tell you something, folks. That peace doesn't mean there's not going to be war. At least if I'm reading this correctly. It sounds like we're about to have World War VIII. We're going to just skip to number 8. Let's bring on our panelists to discuss this. And then they just yell at you. They yell at each other the whole time. That's not news. That's ESPN for nerds. That's Around the Horn. That's ESPN's Around the Horn, which is a great show. Sports is the only thing that is good on TV for people yelling at each other because it doesn't matter. In the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, so it's fun to yell at the TV with them. Ironically, though, the sports section of a newspaper, my favorite section. Those guys write so beautifully. The best writers in a newspaper are the sports writers because sports naturally have a story weaved in. There's no trying to find a story in a game. The story is already there. So the story structure of like the beginning, middle, and end is already there for them. So they get to really dive into the emotion of everything. With the news, it's like At the end of the day, there's not really much of a story, so to make it like to where you can read it and not just fall asleep reading a ledger, which sometimes it is like that, and that's fine. Like I said, they have to try to let me use language in which someone can actually read this and not lose their place as they're going. Read the newspaper. That is my. If I was given a commencement speech, I would tell people that. I would say, delete your news channels off your TV and just read the paper. If you can read it every day, great. At least read the Sunday. I get the Sunday actual paper. I get the old-timey, physical paper on Sunday, and I get the digital paper every morning. LA Times, baby. It's fine. New York Times, people that read the New York Times that don't live in New York, I get it. All right, I get it. It's the nicest one. But at the end of the day, what are you doing? Do you live in New York? Half of the paper is going to be about New York. You don't live there. What? Yeah, I know their main paper is kind of like a national paper, but is it? Every paper has like a national section, and they're saying the exact same thing because they're all journalists that are just saying what happened. Okay? Read your local paper. Keep that shit in business. They're all dying. If you read the New York Times and you live in Utah, you're probably an asshole. Probably. Read the Utahian Tribune or whatever it is. I don't know. The Salt Lake Gazette. All right. Well, we did it. Okay. We talked about things. It would be easier if, hey, follow me at Here with Joe on all platforms. Okay. And I would like you to ask me questions. Okay. Do you have something you're going through right now? I would love to give my opinion. My opinion that means nothing. And I will talk very confidently about things that I don't understand. It is my favorite thing in the world to do, is to shit my opinions onto other people's faces. Specifically, opinions that don't really mean anything. Okay? Don't ask me stuff that's actually important. Again, go to the newspaper for that. Real world events, like real things that make a difference in the world's moving about. You shouldn't be listening to me for that. I mean, I'll tell you. But little things in your life, like who should be in charge of cleaning the dishes in your house, I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now who it should be. Give me the whole story. I'm sure there's a clear answer. Should I quit my job or not? I'll tell you immediately. Give me the full story. I'm sure the answer is right there in front of me. Peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and honey? I already got an answer, but you're gonna have to ask me before I tell you. Whole wheat or white bread? It depends. What's your opinion about rice? What's your opinion about? A lot of it's food. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you have any food things, oh baby, what's the most underrated food? I'll tell you, but you gotta ask. All right? Ask me stupid questions, and I will give you the stupidest, but the smartest, and the correct, even if someone tries to argue with me, they are correct answer. Okay? At Here with Joe, shoot me a DM. Okay? I'll put it on the story. Hey, ask me some questions. Maybe eventually I'll have an email that you can write into. But for now, we'll just do this. This was a fun one. If you came out in San Francisco, thank you. So much fun. Incredible crowds. Sunday was a little sleepy. if we're being honest. But they were still good. Sunday at cheaper. But it was still good. They were only sleepy in comparison to the great crowds before that. So if you were at Sunday show, maybe think about that next time. Maybe like, hey, maybe I want to try to be as good as the other crowds. I'll try a little harder. Just blaming crowds for, me not having as good of a set as the other days. That's insane. All right. There's nothing left, and we're at 40 minutes, so we actually did even better than we needed to. Are you at work yet? As you're driving along, do you feel good? You feel ready to go in? It's probably Tuesday now that this podcast is late, or maybe I'm getting it on in time before your drive home. But maybe save it for your drive to work, It's probably better. All right. That was fun. I'm going to just keep waiting to get off because now I turned off the video. All right. That's it. Sorry, I was doing a couple other things at the same time. I will see you next week on Monday on time. And have a good week, you fucks. And write in a question. That's what I want. I don't care who you are. Write a question in. All right? Bye. Fucking bye.